Hello everyone, my name is Sayeh and welcome to this episode of Sayeh Sun Studio. A lot of you have been asking about my growing conditions. So today I'm going to take you on a tour of my plant room and show you some of the tools and tell you some of the tips I have on having a good growing environment. Let's go.
I grow most of my indoor plants, and you'll notice a lot of them are African violets, in this tiny space, a tiny corner of the basement, with the water heater and furnace. It makes me very careful about the types of chemicals I use, so I'm pretty much pesticide free. My space is really just 3 meters by 2.5 meters, right next to the water heater and furnace, and I've managed to squeeze in 3 4-foot light stands in there, as well as a bookshelf and some IKEA storage. I also have a small desk and also a plastic container for my soil mixes, but my pride and joy must be the watering system I have. I've even drawn in a hose so I don't have to move it, and I just fill it with fertilizer and water on the spot. So in my IKEA shelf storage, I have a variety of pots that I use, my fertilizer mix, as well as some containers for various purposes. I have to admit that some of my best finds have come from the dollar store, including this flower pot with a clear dome, as well as this pop-up tent, which lets me create a humid environment for my larger plants. And now, on we go to the watering system. Let me tell you about it. You can actually make your own by using a bucket or a jerry can, putting a small submersible pump on it and adding a switch. And then you'll use a long flexible hose and an air wand at the other end to help you water. Now, using a jerry can, I can just add in fertilizer right into the water, mix it in, and then just go in and water all my plants with this long hose and reach all those hard to reach plants. And let me give a shout out to some of my favorites, like this Blue Dragon, and here's my Rebels Rosebud. It's watering just becomes a breeze when you're using a system like this. Easy to use. And here's another shelf, and I just have to show off. I keep my unusual African violets here, and you may recognize some of them. But I have to say, my favorite is this cutie Senk's Blue Heron. Longifolia and beautiful blooms. What more could you want? But you'll notice these strange plants scattered throughout. And those are actually another great tool that I have. These are Mexican pingiculas or butterworts, and they are carnivorous plants. It's actually the first blog post I ever wrote, so check it out on sayehsunstudio.com. It's called A Few of My Favorite Pings. And these pings will control so many of those pesky insects that everybody complains about. So instead of pesticides, let the pings do the work for you. And you'll see I have them in shelves everywhere, and sometimes in communal trays, and they are very hardworking. Another neat thing I found out over the years is by putting a sheet of clear acrylic on the bottom shelf, I actually get some growing space underneath it. It's very low light, but it's perfect for propagation. I use the set it and forget it method, and here you have some little pingiculas on sphagnum moss. And here's a container of the way that I like to propagate African violets, which is through Bloomstalk. You have very strong genetic material, and I'll teach you in another segment. It's quite fun. And over here, I have some veggie seeds that I'm starting. And my third light stand contains my miniature and semi-miniature African violets, and of course, propagation tray at the bottom with the clear shelf. So in this little container, I keep my different potting mixes, perlite, vermiculite. This one's a coarse vermiculite, and right next to it is my work area, and I have a step stool that I use as a seat. Very convenient. And of course you need a tub for keeping your dirty containers. So I have one handily next to me with a tray that keeps all the mess in control when I'm potting up. In my workspace, I have the world's longest scissors and some tweezers, and these are my most commonly used tools. You've heard me say it before, but a Lazy Susan is just such a valuable tool to have to work on any kind of park gardening project, and here are some of my favorite tools: tweezers, scissors, and a knife.
Well, I hope that was fun, and it inspires you with a couple of ideas on how you can optimize your own growing area. If you like the segment, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And as always, subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification button so you know when there's a new video coming out. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I so look forward to seeing you again.